What I'm about to say might be debatable. I personally feel filial piety is flawed.
I really struggle with the term filial piety because I'll put in what I received. So however much I received, I will pour in the same, but it's very difficult to when you never receive.
And then my brother said, but he's your father. And immediately I teared and I said, you don't even know what's happening at home.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Hot Pot where we hop into different transitions in life. I'm Nick.
I'm Joey.
I'm Q. And joining us today is one of my colleagues and also my kakak, Fatayn. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Fatayn, but most of them call me Fat, so call me whatever you want.
But
Tonight?
No, don't call me tonight.
but
Boundaries.
I can.
Okay.
Okay.
Special.
And just so you all know as well, Fats is also one of the producers for Code Red.
Oh yeah.
The brains behind Code Red.
AQ also, not just me.
Okay, so today's topic is a little bit heavy. We're talking about leaving the nest of your home. So
The
whether
bird
it's getting
nest.
married or just living your best life, living your own personal space, why do we feel like while we are making this transition, we are also leaving our parents behind?
Okay, let's go down the couch. Like, what are your living situations at home, family dynamics? Anyone that has left the nest? Are you leaving the nest?
So I have two older siblings. My older brother has left the nest. Bye. And then my sister and I are still at home, leeching off our parents.
Okay, Fats.
I'm the last sibling out of 4.
Damn.
All 3 also left the nest. So I'm the only one in the nest.
Are you the youngest or like the order, like how?
I'm the youngest.
Ah, okay.
Both the youngest. Chirp chirp.
I'm an only child and my husband and I live with my dad.
Uncle Sam.
Uncle
Shout
Sam!
out.
Pacha Sam!
What about you?
I moved out of my family home when I was 22. I'm the oldest of 3 children. So my younger brother and my younger sister are both still with my folks.
Oh, we're basically in the same situation, just that you're the leaver and I'm the...
The remainder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you guys heard of this thing called empty nest syndrome? Empty nest syndrome refers to the grief that many parents feel when their children move out of the home. So the reason why this may affect them, some would be the ones who choose to be stay-at-home parents. They might feel like, they sacrifice their careers for your children and then now they lack a sense of purpose because their factor of like why I sacrifice everything is now gone. Then you don't read like anything. Cultural values like filial piety and importance of the family unit and kids moving away can cause tension or feelings of loss. And the last is concern about children. Like as they move out, they might feel anxious because they can't check in on them as often.
Yeah.
Do you think that it is something that our parents struggle with?
I feel like they will struggle with it when it's really empty.
Yeah.
Like 1 or 2, like, they're not so important children.
It's just like,
Ouch!
like trial period.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to talk to my father more than he wants to talk to me.
Eh?
Okay,
Like, every time-
what's a daily conversation with your dad like?
My dad! They were like, oh, hello. Dad. Oh yeah, I bought these noodles, like very nice. You try it. Okay. That's it. Then what about you? Tell me about yourself. And I think my dad is just not a very verbal person, but he will do things like if he sees something that he know Charlie like this like biscuit, he'll buy. They're more like little acts rather than like
Long
face-to-face
conversations.
I guess.
I have some friends, right? They have a group chat with their family,
Ah.
and then their group chat is like just like how they will talk to their friends,
Oh.
like very casual, very
Yeah,
colloquial
yeah.
kind of thing. But then in my family group chat, right, we use formal Malay.
Oh.
Yeah, so everything is in
stop,
full
full stop.
sentence. Yeah, and then we use
full
all the
stop.
trim words. Yeah, so I cannot relate to friends who say that they feel comfortable like talking to their parents.
I definitely don't talk to my parents every day. When there are updates and things like that, planning family dinners, then we will talk lor. Yeah, or if I got like major life updates to talk about. If not, then it will be just when we catch up over dinner, then we will talk.
No, because you left already, right? But like people like us, we are in the house. And if we still struggle to have a full-on conversation with them,
Would it really like be impactful if we actually leave?
yeah.
I feel like the quality of the conversations that I have with my parents now have improved after I left. Like whereas it used to be very like casual daily conversations, like have you eaten? Now like when I see them, then it's like proper catch-ups, like we'll talk about like, oh, the last trip I was on, updates about work are more detailed and stuff like that.
It's more intentional because you guys know that this time that y'all have is this meetup.
Yeah.
When you go home, you won't see each other.
Yeah. And I feel like last time when I was staying with my folks, I would argue with them, like not regularly lah, but I can remember like we will argue about things here and there. I think since I moved out, we have not argued.
As in, I feel like there's no reason to really argue because the things that you usually argue about is things that happen at home.
Yeah.
Like whether it's habits or finance.
Yeah.
And because you're not really sharing
A space.
a space, then there's less friction in some sense.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not very close to my parents. In fact, right, I can confidently say they actually don't know how I am outside. The Fatayn that they know of me at home, right, is very different with the Fatayn that I am with my friends. I'm a bit more preserved and a bit more like low-key at home. They don't even know my job. They just know that I do media and then that's it. I feel like I see my friends more often than my parents, even though we live under the same roof. Like, even though the corridor's so small, right, I won't bump into them. Because by the time I reach home, it's already very late. When I leave the house, right, they're either like in the room or outside.
Even till now, if I were to sleep over or stay over at my friend's house, right, I will report to my dad and my mom. But I wouldn't have to ask for permission. It's more like I'm gonna be out late or I'm not coming home tonight. But then I realized, what if one day I move out, right? Why do I report now? Because if I move out next month, right, I'm not gonna report anymore.
But it's more just so that they know that like why you never come home, whether something happened to you.
Yeah. The accountability for your presence in the home. Like, what if you go missing? Then at least they know, like, oh, she wasn't supposed to come home tonight.
I get it, but at the same time, what if one day I move out and I leave alone?
I'll give you an example, right? Like say if you move out now, right, with a friend and then you are like housemates.
Yeah.
I think if you don't come back, you will still tell your housemate, hey, I staying
I
over.
don't get it. I wouldn't tell my housemate though.
Oh, you wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
If I'm your housemate, I would be like, hey, what the hell? Why you never come back?
Oh, what?
Might be a bit
I don't
worried.
know.
Why?
Like concern,
why
lah.
you
concern
worry?
Yeah, I
safety.
wouldn't also.
Like for your safety.
But what they gonna do if I go missing then?
Police
Call police ah.
No, but will they?
Yeah.
I think I would.
Because, okay, like in parents' context, right? Right now, if they want to send a text message, they need your help. What makes you think that they can actually... Like, no, not offending anyone, but I feel like, at least for my case, right, my parents are more dependent. So I need to be the one to assist. So like, if I go missing or whatever, I feel like my first helpline would be my friends or my best friend.
But you missing.
My friends would know first rather than my parents.
Okay, I think a bit different lah. Like,
Interesting.
yeah.
Aside from the three of us, Nick has left the home. Do you guys think that you relate to the guilt of leaving your parents behind?
Not at all. I feel like
Very fast. You want to hesitate
Yeah.
a bit?
Yeah, maybe you want to...
I don't care about my parents.
why must be guilty? I feel like I did them a favor by not burdening them with my like, cause I stay there, then you need to feed one more person. I have freed them from the burden of me.
No, but you can stay there and then pay for your own presence.
It's so sad that he refers to himself as a burden.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
No, I think it's my own anti-child views like
No,
coming
it's just
up.
very practical. Like,
Yeah,
this
because
is
I
your
feel
own
like if
space.
I have a kid, then I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll be stressing about these sort of things until the day that, you have left the nest. To me, like, it's a positive thing. Like, I have brought you up such that you are independent now and, you can find your way around the world.
Okay.
Rather than being dependent on me as a parent. So I felt like when I could do that for my parents, then it was a good thing lah. Not like something that I should feel guilty about.
But do you think he's not guilty about it because he's the person who left? Because if you're the last
if you're
to
the last
leave,
one, then I think a bit shag. So what about you? Do you think you feel guilty or not?
I think I would because I'm very aware of my parents' relationship. If they were besties and they hee hee ha ha every day, I'm like, okay, bye, have fun, But I think knowing my mom also, she don't really have a social circle. So I feel like at home, I'm her friend. If my sister and I leave the house, then she might feel a lot more lonelier than she is right now. However, I felt a bit guilty for traveling. Especially this year, I every single month travel, right? Then she actually made a comment like, wow,
Never see you.
every month travel,
Like in a satire way.
I don't know whether she's happy for me, but at the same time, like trying to guilt trip me.
For not bringing her with you or for not being at home?
No, I think it's more so about
Being
spending
missing.
money. Spending money. Yeah, spending money.
But
But
it's your money, right?
that's true. I don't feel as guilty, but once in a while, I think just saying bye-bye and then I pull my luggage away and leave for 3 weeks, I feel a bit bad lah. You know the feeling when you were in nursery or like kindergarten, then it's the first day of school and then you start crying because you have to say goodbye to your mom.
If I remember correctly, I just run into class.
Yes.
Damn, every single first day of the school year, right, I'll be crying.
She's
Yeah,
that child.
I will always cry. And then it's the same feeling when I turn back, I see my mom, then bye-bye. Then I leave. Yeah.
For me, right, I don't feel guilt. I would feel bittersweet. Like now, right, every time I come home from work, right, my I can see my mom will like sit up. Then she's like, oh, you're home. And then you think back about it, right? Oh, last time when they come home from work, you will like run to the door like,
Yes,
hey, mom,
yes.
you're home, you know? And then, there was this recent thing that happened. So we were taking like a family photo. And then my mom asked me, Fatayn, can I borrow like something for my lips? I look very pale. And then I thought about it. When I was younger, I always play with her vanity, use her perfume, use her makeup, right? Then now roles have swapped. Yeah, it's a bit more like now they are waiting for me to come home. Right? It's not that I'm waiting for them to come home. So I think it's a bit more bittersweet than guilty. Joey?
Single child.
I think like guilt is something that I find very difficult to manage because I'm very well aware that as a parent, your children are not responsible for your social like habits. Like if you never meet friends and as a result you are lonelier in your retirement, that's on you and not on your children to bear the brunt of the responsibility of making sure you don't feel lonely. But then at the same time as a child, you feel a bit like burdened by the fact that, oh, maybe my parents are lonely, or it's a lack that if I can do something about it, why wouldn't I? So I struggle with this a lot because we also need to be fair to ourselves, right? I have expressed this to my dad before, and I think it helped that he told me, you know, like I don't think you should feel guilty. Like you should take this whole opportunity to live your best life because that's what we brought you into this world to do. What, you know? But I have friends who like very much like you guys, like all the siblings have left, and she actually wants to move out, but because her dad isn't alive anymore, she is basically the sole provider of her mom. And if she moves out to live her best life, her mom will be alone. And none of the siblings are really like pulling their weight. So now it's a matter of, do I choose to be happy or do I choose to help my mom, which in return will make me happy knowing I'm a good daughter, but then I know I'm not living my best life. It sucks that it has to be an either or. There's no win-win situation. Unless maybe you bring your mom on play dates or something. But
Very weird.
so,
Play dates.
you know what I mean? Like,
Mommy,
help your
this is
mom
another auntie.
make friends. No kiss.
How do you manage that? I mean, I know that you're not guilty about it.
If it reaches the point where like one parent has passed, then obviously I would feel more compelled or responsible to spend more time with like the remaining parent because like, are you okay? That kind of thing. My mother-in-law is like damn good because my grandmother-in-law is still quite healthy, but she lives alone. So like nearly like every day or every other day, she will go over to like my grandmother-in-law's place and then they will just hang out. Then they will rotate amongst the siblings lah. Like her and her siblings will, like my aunts and uncles will take turns to go. They will eat there and things like that. I mean, I think that if all my siblings have moved out already, and it's still a long way to go because my younger brother is like 10 years younger than me. And then my sister also, I don't think she's like moving out anytime soon. The thing about my parents is that even though they are parents to 3 children, they have never made being parents their identity. So they have like not compromised on having their own like identity outside of parenthood. When I was younger, I think I was a bit like, I resent them a bit for that lah. Like, you know, why you not like doing this for me or that kind of thing. I feel like that has now set them up quite well for retirement. That they have their own hobbies, their own social circles, things to do. Like I see my dad in retirement now. He's filling up his time quite well lah. If anything, I feel like the thing that I'm more stressed about is that because I'm the oldest child, now taking care of my younger siblings is still under my parents' like responsibility because they're staying together ma.
Yeah.
But then I feel like next time it needs to be me to take care of my siblings. Yeah.
Wait, your parents are still taking care of them?
My younger brother's still in school.
Oh yeah, right. 10 years.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Because for us, we feel like we're taking care of our parents.
Yeah.
Right. I try, you know, like because I live with my dad, he doesn't make me pay rent. I try and make the nest look nice, you know. But last time we used to have a helper, then there'll be dinner at home. So I asked my dad, like, why don't I start cooking dinner and then you can come home to cook meals, right? So I'll cook dinner, then like, oh, I'm cooking this, do you want some? Then he'll be like, no, I already have my dinner planned. So my father life like more happening than mine sometimes. So I want to take care of him, right? But he don't need like anyone to help take care of him, which I guess helps me feel better about moving because he really like fills his time with like social activities and stuff. I'm trying to like imagine what it would be like if he wasn't so active or independent. It would be really, really difficult because you feel burdened by this guilt.
For myself, because I'm always not at home, I always have to pre-plan, hey, I need to buy this, buy dinner for my parents or stuff like that. Because when work piles up, right, I don't have time to even like cook. Like just cooking itself and getting the groceries already
Takes
like
so much
Yeah, takes so
time.
much time. And by the time you finish cooking,
Yeah.
you will be like dead tired.
Yeah.
And then being the only healthier person, right? Because both of my parents are retired. And then they are a bit more on the frail side. So they do a bit of movement, they will get tired very fast. So anything that has got to do with the house, like household chores or like cooking, like if the aircon breaks down or there's plumbing issue, right, I need to be the first person to attend to it. It got even more intense when my third sibling moved out last year. So before that, when he was still around,
You all would share lah.
we were still sharing, yeah.
Yeah.
So I will do more of like the groceries, the cooking, and then he will help me with like all the plumbing situation.
Yeah.
But then now that he has left the nest and then he has his own kids, my parents always say like, don't bother your siblings, they have their own family to worry about. And then to me, it feels like it's a bit unfair because you make it sound like they have their own liabilities, but what about me?
Yeah,
like,
you also have your own liability.
Yeah, I think Asian families, right, they assume that if you're not married or if you don't have kids, right, you've got nothing much tying you down.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
it's like you have nothing to complain about. Just do your job only, what?
Yeah,
But then they expect you to be ready for marriage and to get a
Yeah.
house. Those things take saving and time.
Correct.
Question part. Hey,
Hey,
You say alone.
just cause you code red, then you cannot say.
you say now.
you say. You do yourself.
Say yourself.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, question part.
Oh,
Love that.
Not bad, not bad, not
well,
bad.
we got a new vibe to question part now. It's a little
Yeah.
cheeky.
This 8 and left no crumbs.
Use this guy one.
He always
Every episode.
Hey, faster a bit.
Slay.
Okay, me first.
Yes.
How often do you wash your belly button? Oh my god. Can I just say, because I'm an ini, is it?
Yeah, ini.
I'm an ini, right? So I will take cotton bud, right? I will damp it and then I will clean it. Cause if I got long nails, I cannot.
But how often? How often?
Like every few days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't relate.
Belly button routine eh.
But yeah, facts. They need to make skincare, body
Get
care.
ready
for
with me.
Get ready with me.
How many French fries is it okay for a friend to take before they should order their own? I'm gonna say 1/3.
1/3?
Wow, you're very generous. Okay, no, it depends on
Generous, I'm quite
depends on how
generous.
hungry
No,
you are,
and depends
right?
on what size. Like, if like you 1/3 of large is very different from 1/3 of small.
Small, you take 3 can already.
Yeah. Small sometimes with me got like 7 only.
I was imagining large lah.
Large lah.
Yeah. Okay, no, good friends, I say 1/3. Acquaintance, don't touch, yeah?
No, it's like
Ask
you ask first, can I have one?
No, but if the
Then,
person
like,
put inside the mouth already, share. You know some people they will just take first and then how will you react?
Yeah, I take a bit. Then halfway
Then
already.
you confirm, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
You have to swap voices with a cartoon character. Who would you pick? Dewey from Family Guy, not bad.
Can do.
so
Quite funny.
annoying.
Oh no, maybe not Steve. Maybe like
He's
Brian,
like, Mum,
the
mummy,
dog, the dog.
mummy,
Do an impression.
mum, mummy. That's
Yeah.
Stewie.
Mother.
Would you rather have the ability to rewind time by 10 minutes or fast forward time by 10 minutes? If you make a mistake, you can rewind, but I always think it will affect the ripple will, like what are the consequences of the ripple caused?
Oh my god, 10 minutes is so important for us because
10
for
minutes,
one time we
all
almost
too
wanna
well
shit
10
our
minutes
pants.
version. Oh.
Wait, do you
All too well 10 minutes version.
Did you not hear what I just said?
What did you say?
Who shit? Both of
No,
us.
both of us in different scenarios.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
almost shat our pants. So
Okay.
reverse 10 minutes would be great because then
No,
our
you fast forward so the shit is done. Why you want to continue?
Like you have shat your
the
pants
10
already.
minutes is more than enough time to find the next toilet bowl. This one's serious. It's a traumatic thing. Don't
Oh,
play
as in y'all
play.
pass the toilet, then need to shit.
never mind lah.
Okay. Wow.
Rewind
I
lah.
think it helps if you are late.
Rewind.
At which point did these household responsibilities shift from your parents to the children?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a sudden thing. I think growing up, right, all of my siblings were quite like
Helpful.
independent, like own self take care of
Involved.
their own meals.
Yeah.
Yeah. My household is quite avoidant actually. There's no such thing as family dinner or whatever. That table for 6, don't know for what, honestly.
Put all the
y'all take turns,
mail,
y'all
put
take
the
turns.
Yeah,
tissue
OT,
and
like, oh, I take the 4 o'clock slot to eat.
So y'all
Okay.
don't actually
No, there's no
have
such thing.
family
So I cannot
dinners.
relate when y'all say y'all got family dinner on Sundays or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Chinese.
My family dinner really on Sunday.
No, same. But actually, just jumping on that, right? Sometimes I dread my family dinners.
Why?
Oh, is it? What's the dynamic like for your family dinner?
It's a bit sad to admit this, and I feel bad to admit this. But I think that when I am forced to have family dinners, I feel like it's not natural. You know how it's mandatory, and then like, okay, just sit down and eat. But then I think it's very pointless when no one is having a proper conversation.
If no one is present, then what's the difference?
Correct. I
Yeah.
think my siblings and I actually want to plan for family dinners. It's just that sometimes some people bad mood lor.
They
Like,
bring it to the table.
yeah, it suddenly becomes very unpleasant. I just don't like that. I like if you want to have family dinners, just
Bring a good vibe.
good. Yeah, it's
I agree.
like friends gathering.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
come in with this
Bad mood.
weight and this like dark
Wow.
cloud. You know.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm the dark cloud. Just because, okay, usually I'm the dark cloud is because I noticed someone else
Dark
already
clouding.
dark cloud. Then you dark cloud, then I dark cloud. We storm together.
黑云浅
Eh,
Oh, wow.
Just now Nick mentioned about filial piety, right?
Yeah.
What do you all feel about that?
I believe in filial piety.
Oh,
I also believe.
Yeah.
I really struggle with the term filial piety because I'll put in what I received. So however much I received, I will pour in the same because it is what's owed and what is right. But it's very difficult too when you never receive, you know?
Yeah.
retweet. I relate.
Public retweet or silent retweet?
Public retweet.
Public retweet.
I
What is
was not
silent retweet?
silent.
Repost.
Silent repost.
Like
Like
TikTok,
on
Get on
repost.
with the program.
He like to act Gen Z, but he don't know one.
I don't use Twitter.
No, so it's like you see
or
a TikTok, then someone posts something calling out something,
Uh-huh.
then you just comment like silent repost. Because you cannot repost if not your friends will see.
Oh.
Yeah. I struggle with this a lot because the word guilt is very triggering for me because guilt happens when you feel like you're supposed to do something and it's owed. It's like mandatory. And usually there's a little bit of it that feels unfair. And that unfairness is difficult because everyone outside who doesn't understand the dynamic of your family will just tell you, at the end of the day, they are your family.
Oh, I don't believe in that.
This.
I don't believe in that.
Or they will say like, okay, but you know, they bring you into this world. They did all this for you to be here today.
They were the ones who chose to be horny one night and decided to have us.
We
right?
did not give consent.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was no consent form. There was no prior agreement.
Yes, I am thankful, but I am who I am in spite of a lot and not because of the things that happened to me, you know?
The reason why I say I believe in filial piety and like why I feel that for my parents and also my in-laws is because like when I see like them and their motivation to be parents, right, and how my parents were like parents to myself and how Jess's parents were to like her, it's like we bring you up unconditionally. You don't expect anything in return. The biggest gift also is that like there's no expectation for you to take care of them when they are retired or old.
Yeah.
Because I know that there are a lot of people from our generation that like they have that resentment because like their parents had them as a retirement plan. Like
Yeah.
next time when I owe you take care of me.
Yeah.
So to me that is fundamentally like the worst reason why you can have
Will
children. lah.
backfire.
Yeah. Then it ends up being like, oh, you are bringing in a person who is like restricted in life because like of you. Like when you are old, because you never do your own financial planning properly, you never plan for your retirement properly, then you are dependent on your children to like take care of you, give you money, feed you and things like that. Because I think like I'm blessed and lucky enough to not have to deal with that, then it's a lot easier for me to be like, oh, okay, yeah, like thank you so much like for not putting me in that position lah. So I feel like the least I can do is like, yeah, family dinners, I spend time with my family. Like all they ask is like they are curious like what you are up to and things like that.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very small like price to pay lor.
Thanks for acknowledging your privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But jumping on that, right? So I had this conversation with my mom before, because all of my siblings are married. During festive period, like your relatives will ask, when's your turn? And then like, I will just say like, I don't think it's something that I am aiming for lah. Like if it comes, it comes. But marriage is not a priority. And then my mom chimed in And she said, oh, that's good. Then she can take care of me, what? Like, I got enough grandchildren already. And then it triggers me so bad because, like, personally, right, okay, what I'm about to say might be debatable. I personally feel, right, filial piety is flawed. Like, the whole concept of filial piety. Because, like, you know that when you gave birth to us, right, and you decide to have children, it comes with fending for us until we are, like, fully able. Don't use the choice that you make to have children, right, against me.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I just feel it's very unfair. And then, like, how people keep saying, like, they are your mom, they are your dad, they are the ones who paid for your pampers when you were, like, a child. You think a 5-year-old child can go to a
Yeah.
store and buy, like, pampers? No, what?
Yeah. As in, it comes, you knew this would happen. So why is it my responsibility?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be thankful, as in, like, it's part of your role as
It's
a
part of the
parent.
package
Yeah,
lah.
and I think
Correct.
the other thing is that like what people are telling the people who don't want to have children is that, oh, it's such a fulfilling experience and all that, right? So actually, as a parent, that is your reward, that it is a fulfilling experience, and that is all you should be asking for.
But I do feel for our parents because they, like, I feel like the conversation, even the conversation we're having right now, comes from a place of privilege in that we are championing drawing boundaries. Like, we finally have the privilege to draw boundaries and say, you know what, like, actually having children is not just something that we should just follow. Like, for our parents, if they didn't, everyone around them would have pressured them, like, you get married already, when's the kid coming? Then if you have no kids, how are you going to continue the bloodline? Or, like, the pressures were very set in stone already. Like, they had things to do.
Yeah.
Once you graduate from school, you get a good job, then you get a good husband, then you get married, you have kids, the wife stay at home. Like, they had very, very strong cookie cutter, like, paths to take that they had no choice. And then I think a lot of our parents in this generation are realizing, like, I don't have a life outside of being a parent. I don't have a life outside of my career. And we are the generation that has realized that we don't want that for ourselves. And I mean, we cannot reap the benefits of that, but we can stop the cycle. But we still need to bear a bit of responsibility because
Yeah.
I still feel for our parents. Like, they are being parents for the first time. They are being, like, adults for the first time. They are retiring and getting into old age, feeling a bit lost also for the first time. Like, no one taught them how to do this.
Actually, right, on that note, right, what are your parents' relationship with their parents, your grandparents?
I think I learned a lot of filial piety because of the way they behaved with their parents. So I see my father and my mom always going back home, always giving them a sum of money each month. And I think that is, it is always said that's the right thing to do. And I never ever doubted that because I feel like it was portrayed in a very healthy manner. It wasn't like a you owe me, you know? So, but I get where you guys are coming from, but because of how I saw things, right, it was never a negative idea or concept for me.
How often did like your parents visit your grandparents?
As in, because my dad is Malaysian, so we don't really go back to Malaysia as often. Yeah, but at least every year, my siblings and I will give our grandparents ang pao money. Even though my relationship with them, we're not very close, I will always give them a sum like for a full year, for example. Yeah.
My parents, right, they are more focused on their family. So we will only visit our grandparents on certain occasion. But even then, right, when we go for those occasions, right, I always notice he's always with my grandma. Like, no matter what. Like, and he's always, like, beside my grandma. I feel like there's a generational difference. Maybe for their generation, right, it feels like the eldest son, right, always have to be like by the parents' side.
Yeah.
But I think there is a bit of a change with my family. So personally for me, right, like, if I ever get to have, like, my own family in the future, I would shift my focus and my priority with my new family. Because whatever I learn or witness from my parents, right, whatever good I take, whatever bad then I learn, because I know what I want and don't want in my new family. Yeah. And then if you all want to talk about, like, oh, then what about your parents? But there's other siblings, right? We share those responsibilities.
Yeah.
Do you all share your responsibilities with your siblings?
Yeah.
I feel like recent years there's this imbalance because my brother has moved out, right? And then everything that happens at home, for example, TV spoil, fridge spoil, aircon spoil.
Expensive, eh?
Yeah, I would feel that there's a need for me to pay.
Because you are still benefiting from that appliance.
Correct. And also, not just that. Okay, let's just say the TV, the living room TV. I don't watch anything there. But then to me, it's more like I need to make sure that my father is happy. Yeah, so things like that, I wouldn't tell my brother, okay, can you chip in? I don't think I would naturally do that lah. I think there were some things that were going on in the family on a day-to-day basis that we weren't very happy about. And then when we told our brother about it, I think there was this one line I said about my dad. And then my brother said, but he's your father eh? And immediately I teared and I said, you don't even know what's happening at home.
Yeah.
Like, how can you say that to me?
Yeah.
So I think my brother understood where I was coming from because he's not living through the experience that we are living through. Yeah. So I think the imbalance is sometimes a bit hard to navigate, especially as the youngest child. I feel like it's wrong to talk to my brother like that. You know what I mean?
She's like, if he's an ass, you
No. Actually, I'm very casual with my brother as well.
Right.
But sometimes I feel like it's an ego thing on their end that I cannot overstep.
Brothers are like that. I had a similar conversation recently. Like, my nieces, they slept in the toilet. So like usually my sister will send over like her children, and then after that, one time right, the children slept in the toilet, and then after that, the next family event, my siblings questioned me, where were you when that happened? Why did you not attend to? I was at work. Like, because I'm the only sibling left there, right? All the blame goes to me. Like, they question me, where were you? What were you doing? Why did you not attend to?
Why were your nieces there? To be taken care of?
Yeah, so on some days, because my sister is a teacher, so on days where she have like extended timetable or something, right, she will send. It just so happened that I wasn't around that day, and then my parents have to take care of the children for that day, right? And then you know how children can be a bit playful. So when there's like emergencies like that, right, my parents panic. They don't know how to react. They are not like in their 20s where they are quick on the feet, like, okay, I need to call ambulance, okay, I need to call this, you know.
You have to be the adult now.
Yeah, so it feels there's a lot of
pressure.
pressure on me. Like, I have my own things to worry about outside, but for me to rush home because I'm the only sibling left, right, and I cannot tap on my other siblings because my parents always say like they have their own kids to worry about.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, right, it's not your children
Yeah.
It's not your children, plus your siblings should also know that your parents are not at the age where they can be...
Wait, let me clarify. It's not my sister who questioned me. It's the other siblings. It's my other brothers.
okay.
So they assumed that I didn't do anything. But my sister was very thankful that...
You were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's not your children. Plus, like, there should be the understanding that your parents, who are the ones who are at home, are not like viable full-time caretakers of young children anymore.
But I think it's difficult for her because the context, or rather the relationship, has always been like that.
Yeah.
Then if you suddenly like question the rules at home,
Yeah, then got conflict. Big
got conflict.
Yeah.
It's very hard to
And then as a
navigate
younger
that lah.
sibling, you cannot talk back.
Yeah.
It's like rude. Then when you say your opinion, they cannot take it. Then they're just being egoistic.
Actually, yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like I got oldest child privilege. Like,
No,
right.
it's a real thing.
If you're youngest,
I can't understand that. As an only child, I'm like, what do you mean I can't talk back to you? I'm talking to you. Why is it back? I'm just talking.
Because in Chinese they always say 没大没小, not big, not small.
But also...
We eat and shit in the same toilet. I mean, we eat in the toilet, but we eat at the same table. We shit in the same toilet. We are
if your
the
younger
same.
sibling talk back to you, how will you?
No, but must have like... No, I think...
Reason.
Actually, I think I'm quite logical. Like,
Wow.
if I'm really in the wrong, then I will be like, okay, yeah, sure. But if it's just like... For, like, you're throwing a tantrum for the sake of throwing a tantrum.
Yeah lah,
Yeah
that's
lah,
different
then
lah.
that's different, right?
Yeah. Interesting question would be like, after you all leave the nest, how often do you think you will visit? Joey, what in your mind? I'm sure you have thought about this already. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so when you move to the US, right? How often do you think you'll come back?
I think once a year makes sense. I mean, they can always come over also.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can meet twice a year if I go over once and you fly over once.
I feel like if I move overseas, my parents and my in-laws will be quite excited. Because then they got an excuse to holiday.
But you'll be sponsoring, right?
Right?
No, that's the thing, because they will expect you to sponsor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or when they arrive.
At most you like, you can stay in my place.
You
Wow,
think
isn't that
you'll
like
be
a
I'm
gift,
your
huh?
parents, you cannot pay for my flight ticket. You know, those say some stuff.
To see my son.
Yeah.
You go and reflect a bit. No, but
Wonder.
what would be your answer?
Me? only when got like
Hari Raya, full stop.
yeah, like,
Really?
or okay, like
Selamat Hari Raya.
every few months I will probably come like once in a while, but it's not like an everyday thing. Okay, for example, right, my sister, right, I actually have like mad respect for her. She comes and visit my parents every week,
Wow, hey, that's amazing.
and to me it's like, wow, that could never be me. So I would say thank you for being perfect, so I don't have to be.
Oh, to be honest, right, older sisters always hard carry lah.
Okay,
My
but honestly, right, it's because she's the golden child.
oh,
Yeah, so she's the only sibling that went to uni. So like my parents always speak good of her. Naturally, I can understand if I was her. Oh, like you love me so much, you sayang me so much, I want to take care of you. I get it.
my sister is in a position where she's the middle child, so she feels like there's that responsibility on her.
What's the middle child syndrome again?
Everything goes to her, and also she's the oldest daughter. Chores wise, last time they will always call
throw
her
to
to
her.
get her to do it. If not, then it's me. And I honestly, I think my sister hard carry also lah. She will always be the one initiating family dinners. This is something that I am very aware of lah, and I'm trying to like change about myself also.
So how often you think, after you move out, how often you think you go
To
back?
be honest,
Or you will go back when your sister asks you to go back?
no lah. You think about my sister control my life?
Hey, this weekend family dinner. Okay, okay, sir.
That's it. I don't want. I think ideally every 3 weeks or bi-weekly.
But in between, you will call or text.
Maybe text.
Yeah.
Like voice message a little bit. But then I'm not very confident in driving, so that's why I don't laugh.
How often does your brother like come back?
Bi-weekly or every 3 weeks. This actually got me thinking about this movie 钱不够用. It's a Jack
Oh, yeah,
Neo
Money Not
film,
Enough,
Money
yeah.
Not Enough. Basically the film features the 3 brothers, right? And they will rotate taking care of the mom. But then the way they take care is like no effort
Yeah,
one.
yeah, very no, like bare minimum lah.
Means
Well-
the parents go to his house.
Yeah, and they push her away. One of the brothers actually made her sleep in the balcony. Wow, the movie really made me like bawl my eyes out. It was so painful to watch.
Wait, balcony like
Like, you know, the
because there's
laundry.
no extra room.
Yeah.
Oh damn. what
Yeah. So I think it's actually quite common in the Singaporean landscape. Maybe in the older generation when they don't want to take care of their parents. And then they just push to their siblings every other week.
Okay, I think something we haven't touched on yet, right, is after all of y'all have left the household, right, how do you think your parents will be like?
I think my dad, like
Your
I
dad seems
said
like he'll
my
be
dad
fine,
will be
ah.
fine. In
Yeah.
fact, I
Like,
think he'll be thriving.
Yeah.
He'll be thriving. So good for him.
I think they will low-key be sad. Especially my dad, usually when I salam my parents, right, especially my dad, he will always make it a habit to kiss my forehead. But it's a thing that he does since I was young. So to me, it didn't mean anything. But then when I travel, right, he always, like, he will either, like, pat my head or, like, some extra gesture. Then I feel like this is actually his way of telling me, like, take care.
Oh.
Yeah. But if I were to move out also, I think he won't say, they
Much
won't
lah.
say much. Because, yeah, it's an avoidant household. Yeah.
But then would you feel that like you will need to redistribute the parental care responsibility again with your siblings? Like would you have a conversation with your siblings? Hey, now I'm moving out already. Everybody need to step up a bit more.
I don't want to dismiss my siblings because they do contribute in their own ways. It's just that we never had like a transparent conversation.
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
sit down and say,
Got no town
hey,
hall
I give
lah.
Yeah.
like we don't sit down and say like, hey, I give mama this amount every month. Like we don't do that. Like we just keep quiet. Like you do your business, I do my business. Like whether or not you give them, right, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think even if I move out naturally, I'm confident that my parents will still be taken care of. Like in our own little ways.
So for you guys with siblings, what do you think is the ideal distribution of responsibilities when it comes to taking care of your parents?
Wow, I think it's very difficult because like a few different factors, right? One is like your earning power. So like the financial position that you're in relative to your siblings. The other one is like kids. So whether you have like your own family and like number of dependents outside of your parents. But at the same time, I think that it's impossible for it to be like 100% equal.
Correct.
So people, you just, as a sibling, you just need to understand that like, as long as if there's a gap, then someone should fill it. If I can fill it, I try to fill it. I think the most important thing is there needs to be communication lah. That like if you are expecting someone to step up a bit, then you should voice it out. Then if you are being asked to step up, like you should, rather than like, oh, it's not fair, it's fair, that kind of thing.
When he mentioned finance wise, right, if let's say I'm doing better in this phase of my life, and my parents needed more money, I'll be the person to transfer the money.
Yeah.
Then when it comes to working around family relationships and conversations, right? Sometimes we will take turns. So for example, if I had a conversation with my dad about something that's a bit heavy, then I'll message my sister, "Zeh, you do the next one." So that we actually share the burden of making sure that it doesn't just come from one person and that
Yeah.
one person looks like the common enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think aside from that, my siblings and I are generally quite friendly with each other. We have a separate WhatsApp chat that sometimes is activated because there is a major thing that we need to discuss about. And there was this one time we actually told our brother to come back home so that we can actually have a town hall in my sister's room to discuss and decide what to do next. I really think it depends on your family dynamics lah. Like when she said her family is a bit avoidant, I don't imagine y'all can do something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like at least for my case, right, it's all about you genuine then you do, but don't bring it up next time. Like we won't say things like, "Oh, I was the one who brought mama to the hospital last time, it's your turn." Like usually if I really cannot take leave or something, like I will just text, "Hey, like do you think you can take leave to on this day?" Like I don't think I can take leave on that day. And then usually my siblings are very quite chill. Like it's quite they
Someone will step
understand,
up lah.
Yeah,
Someone will
yeah,
step
yeah.
up.
I think if everybody's on the same page, then you guys won't feel like a lack or that there's unfairness.
Yeah.
What is one tip that you guys can give the audience about lessening the guilt of leaving your parents behind?
I think the important thing is that you have like some form of communication, even if you don't see them like regularly. So like even just messages, like text messages or calls and things like that. And always having like the next gathering in the calendar.
Okay, at least for me, I would at least show up for the gatherings because I won't be the one to initiate. It's just not natural for me to initiate. For me also, I will personally, right, at least remember them on their birthday.
Oh.
Because even though my dad is in the room beside, right, I don't go up to him and tell him happy birthday. I will just text, "Happy birthday, Ayah."
Oh.
Then, yeah. So they will feel like, my
You
children
remember.
remember me.
Yeah, I think riding on that, we live in a world where you can send videos and photos of your travels or the things you're doing in life, or like, "Hey, look, I made this soup that like grandma used to make." You know, for example, like keep updated with them and remind yourself that you deserve to enjoy your life, whether they are there with you or not. Like they brought you into this world for you to lead a good life. So you are honoring that by living your best life.
So thank you for joining us on this episode of The Hot Pot. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Me Listen.
And subscribe to us if you haven't already.
Also, comment down below if you guys have any stories to share.
And of course, a big thanks as well to Fats for joining us on this episode. And we will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye!
I'm the last sibling out of 4. All
Damn.
3 also left the nest. So
Wow.
I'm the only one in the nest. But we don't look like the youngest. People say that we have the older siblings persona.
Actually got, kakak and
No,
sister vibes.
she got youngest child, but
Really?
yeah.
Look at how she behaves.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I'm an only child.
Absolute infant.
Okay, back to
Yeah.
Joey.
We use Google Nest. And it must be nice to have siblings in that you guys can share the burden. But then also like, man, I will confirm talk back. So maybe blessing in disguise, I'm alone.
I cannot imagine you having siblings.
You think I have younger or older better?
Older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better
feel
if I have older.
You got
Yeah.
youngest child, but
Yeah, you got youngest child
I'm
vibes.
sorry, what?